So Kai Asakura, the man who was recently submitted by Alexandre Pantoja early, uh, has come out and made a statement that he wants to become the UFC flyweight champ within the next 2 years, and he wants to do so by um, the word is escaping me, but he wants to do so by just knocking out every flyweight fighter in his path. It was a more witty way I wanted to say that, but for lack of a better term, yeah, he wants to knock out every flyweight fighter in his path, right back to another title shot, to which he will successfully secure that title. Um, let's go through, what he would need to go through to get to that, right? Shall we? Well, first, in order to look at his path, we got to look at where he's been. And he just had his very first fight in the UFC, and that was a title shot against Alexandre Pantoja, an immediate one. And ever since that was called out, I've been screaming to you guys the fact that Pantoja was always going to dog walk Kai Asakura. And it's just completely because of the styles. And a lot of people will tell you that styles make fights, and that is completely true. And the styles made the fight that night, and it went exactly like I said it would go. Because, like I said, Pantoja's got this chin reliant, press forward, nonstop lay on top of you fighting style, and it's proven to be extremely effective, and it has created a beeline for him right to the title, in which he was able to secure it and win. And this style is completely dominant against the fighting style of Kai Asakura, which is, high athleticism, sneaky knees, powerful punches. I wouldn't say they're like extremely heavy punches, but they're powerful because of their speed. And like I said, really sneaky flying knees, just a whole bunch of athleticism and accuracy, especially early on in fights. That's Kai Asakura. His grappling, while it isn't terrible, he's very smooth with his grappling. He's very slippery at times as well. Like, he knows how to get out of certain positions. It's not airtight. He's more so a striker, and has always looked to be more so a striker. And when you unite the two styles, it's obvious that Pantoja is going to dominate the dude, and he did, because Kai threw the fucking kitchen sink at Pantoja early, doing all the usual Kai Sakura stuff, flying knees, really fast punches, just a lot of athleticism and speed early. And all Pantoja really did was fucking march forward and lay on top of his opponent. He had some good striking too. Pantoja was able to clip Kai Sakura early as well. So on top of the already dominant fighting style of Pantoja, we start to see him adding new tools onto his in his arsenal, and that is so beautiful to see. And that shows that's the mark of a great fighter, of a legendary fighter, of a future GOAT even. Because when you see fighters like Alex Pereira do that, he's now added the powerful jab. When you see fighters like John Jones do that, because he's always done that. Even George St. Pierre, who was able to unite a bunch of fighting styles to create the Ultimate Warrior. Fighters like those, or fighters like these, are insurmountable fighters. They are impenetrable fighters. They are stalwart fighters. And now we're starting to see that from Pantoja. But overall, Pantoja just ate Kai Sakura's shots and moved forward. And then laid on top of Kai, and then it was just inevitable that Pantoja was going to be able to submit Asakura or just lay on top of Asakura for the majority of the fight. But the former happened. Pantoja was able to get a hold of Kai, lay on top of Kai, grapple with Kai for a bit, find Kai's back, and submit Kai. All with relatively quick succession early in the fight. So yeah, that's what happened. Now, moving from the past to the present and also acknowledging the future or analyzing the future, I would say, and I've said it before, that Kai has a really good shot against almost all of the flyweights because not a lot of flyweights in the UFC are grappling dominant. They're mostly boxers and strikers, which is really good entertainment wise. And I think Kai will do well with a lot of them. Fighters like Brandon Moreno, fighters like Kai Kara-France, even Manil Kape. And the key for all the opponents of Kai Asakura is to really, first and foremost, survive the early Kai Asakura storm, but also maybe just try to work in some grappling and make it a fight on the ground. But overall, Kai Asakura, like I said, plans to become the flyweight champ in the next 2 years. I think that's all fine and dandy. It just all kind of depends on one sole factor. And that factor is Pantoja still the champ of the division? Or is Pantoja still in the division in general? And is his chin still intact? That is the key factor to Kai Asakura getting the flyweight belt, because I think Pantoja does what he did to Kai 10 times out of 10 times. 10 fights out of 10 fights, Pantoja does the same shit he did to Kai Asakura again and again and again. Because Kai Asakura has nothing really left to offer except the stuff that he showed. Non-stop, really high athleticism, sneaky knees, good accuracy, and it'll work against a lot of fighters, just not fighters with really great chins and really great grappling. And that is what that's just what Pantoja has. That's who Pantoja is. Until that chin wears out. And who knows when it will. So yeah, Pantoja's plan kind of relies or kind of depends on that one factor. Will Pantoja still be in the flyweight division? And he may not. Pantoja has been dominating the game, and I think it's due time for Pantoja to consider a move to bantamweight. And if Pantoja has moved to bantamweight, then Kai absolutely has almost a red carpet, if you will, right to the title shot. And when he's got it, I think there's only two fighters that there's only two fighters that Kai Asakura really has to worry about. Those two, I would argue, are Kai Kara-France and Manil Kape. I think against a Brandon Moreno or a Steve Erceg, even a Brandon Moreno or Steve Erceg, even a Brandon Roy Dog Royval or Brandon Raw Dog Royval, same shit. I think it's the same stuff. You can really just kind of overwhelm him in the first round or overwhelm him throughout the fight. Don't get me wrong. Moreno, Royval, Steve Erceg, great boxers, great strikers, very dangerous guys. I'm just saying that Kai Asakura has a real chance of starching all of them, especially early on, given how precise he is and athletic he is, because none of those fighters who I just listed have chins anywhere or any near as strong as Pantoja. Pantoja's chin is above the rest, and probably the best chin the UFC has ever seen. I really would stand by that. Maybe Chito Vera is a close second, but I think Pantoja's chin is the best chin we've ever seen. And I think it goes Pantoja, Cheeto, Marvin Vittori. And Marvin Vittori is dumb as fuck. And maybe that helps with having a strong chin. I don't know what, but Vittori's chin is really, really fucking strong. And one of the best. One of the top 3 best. Vittori, Cheeto, Pantoja. But overall, because I want to circle back to what I've been saying, because we're sitting here talking about Kai Asakura and his plan. It's a really good plan. I think it's sound as long as Pantoja's out of the division by then, because I do absolutely agree. Bottom line, I do agree that Kai Asakura has a strong chance of beating the majority of the flyweight fighters in the division. I think the only 2 fighters he really needs to worry about are Kai Kara-France and Manil Kape. Manil Kape, because of his head movement and the really, really high degree of his striking, the efficiency, the strength of it, the creativity of it, and just the overall level, how high of a level that his stand-up is. And then Kai Kara-France, because of Kai Kara-France's power. I think everybody in the division, with the exception of Pantoja, definitely needs to be aware and cautious of the power, the sheer power of Kai Kara-France. But bottom line, Kai Asakura's plan, it ain't bad. And I look forward to seeing what Kai can do in the division because, like I said, I think he, despite losing to Pantoja recently and getting humiliated by him, I think Kai Asakura will be a blessing to the flyweight division and bring a lot more eyes to the flyweight division, especially a lot of Japanese eyes. But overall, like I said, good plan. Look forward to seeing what he does. And if Pantoja's out of the flyweight division, then he absolutely has a chance at becoming the next champ. Let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next.